Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Studio Live today. For some reason, my music's not playing. That's a great start to the show, Pete. There it is. Did I mention that we're live? Welcome here. If it's your first time here, you're thinking, who is this guy and why can't he seem to coordinate getting himself started on a live show? What we're doing in this one is I am recording a new EP and I'm doing it in GarageBand on my iPad and I'm bringing you along for the ride. And this one, I wasn't going to do a video about this because I was going to just get on and do it, but I thought I would talk about decision making and committing to things and avoiding the temptation to just keep double guessing, second guessing, whatever the terminology is, when you're trying to get something done. Because I don't know about you, but I waste a heck of a lot of time just debating on things and thinking, should I go this way? Should I go that way? Make this decision, that decision. Here's the reality. The harsh reality of it all is that you will make one of the decisions and you will never know how the other decision will have worked out anyway. So, if you want to do a really cold clinical version of it, you would say it just simply doesn't matter what choice you make. It is more important that you make a choice and then follow through with that choice than it is to debate and think about what it is. Anyone relate to that? Anyone similar to that? It took me. This is why it took me till my mid 30s to start making music again and start recording and start a YouTube channel and do all of these things because I was spending all of that time going, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, instead of just saying, let's get on and do it. So what are we going to get on and do in this video? Well, I'm going to take you through the final decisions on the track listing for my new EP. And some of what I did, the exercise I did this morning, where I sat down and I mapped out a framework of what I need to do in the next 2 weeks so that I can work backwards and work out what I actually need to do to get this EP recorded and released by the 3rd of June. Because that's what we're doing here. We are recording, mixing, mastering, and releasing a 5-track. Yes, there are 5 songs. I've decided on the 5 songs EP in the next 2 weeks. So hopefully you can join me along for the ride like the great folks that we have here. We've got Michael Smith, hello to you. Metallion58 is here. Rage5606, hello to you, my friend. We've got 1000 watts. Fallen Creature is here. Hello, how you doing? We've got Sauce Broski. Good to have you here. I don't think I've seen your name around the channel anymore. We've got a quick question. Hey, Pete, before you start, do you have any tips for keeping your voice, for a recording session? Lots of water, which I don't have. Don't do what I do and drink iced coffee. Have lots and lots of water, but don't do what I did. I'll let you in a little secret. On the show I did on the weekend, I did a happy hour show, and I'm like, I'm going to make sure that I'm super hydrated, that I've had heaps of water before the show. Let's just say I might have had a little bit too much water, and at the end of the show, after the hour, I had to go very quickly and take care of something. Anyway, more information than you needed to know. Hello to the Mel sisters. Good to have you here. Tom Rochelle is here. Jeff Brush is here. EP Beats. Can you show us how to sell iOS GarageBand beats to the Beat Store? I mean, I've never made a beat per se. I have made songs. I've made instrumental songs. I've never got into the whole beat creation thing, but maybe that's something I need to delve into a little bit more. Tom says, yep, I spend 2 hours auditioning synth patches and then think maybe I should try a different VST. Right? Who's with Tom and I that, yeah, sometimes you just overanalyze. Anyone else an overthinker, overanalyzer, spend too much time trying to make a decision and not enough time doing the doing? That's me. Hello to David Thiessen, who is here as well. Hope you are all doing well. We're going to crack on to this and get started. Now, I did have a small audio issue there at the start, and I've still got it. Can you hear that? Yeah, there's something seriously wrong with the cable that's coming into my mixer there to play back my audio from my iPad. So we might have to do some on-the-go troubleshooting, or maybe try a different cable, or do something here to fix that up. But yeah, not sounding great there, but we'll persevere. Again, the beauty part about doing live things is you might see something really slick and good, or you might see a wee bit of a train wreck. You're probably going to get a little taste of both here. So what is the point of this video? Well, I'm going to go through and let you know how to plan out a recording process. So if you're in the same boat as me, if maybe you're doing just one song as part of Mayhem, that we're calling it here, as part of our May recording challenge, or maybe you're doing a whole EP, the problem and the challenge that most people have is that they start planning and they go forwards. I'm going to show you why we need to backwards plan, because we got a hard date of the 3rd of June to have all of this done and to DistroKid for release. I don't have any time to mess about. So we need to work out what we're doing here. So the first thing that I do is work out the tasks that I need to do, which I have. Here's one I prepared earlier. I'm going to throw my screen up here and take you behind the scenes and into my brain as to what I've been doing here. So let's just share my screen, bring this one up and go boom. And there we go. So I'll zoom in on this sucker here so you can actually read some of these. Whoop, that's pretty big. That's probably a little bit too big, isn't it? Yeah, let's a little step back. There we go. You should be able to see that pretty nicely now. So here it is, my new EP project. So this is something that I do. It's a bit of a brain dump. And you might be saying, Pete, isn't this a creative thing? Shouldn't you just go and record? And yeah, but the problem with just going and just starting is that it's really hard to end something. And if you're like me and you struggle finishing songs, you need to have a plan. Otherwise, you will just go on forever and it'll turn into, what was that album for Guns N' Roses, the Spaghetti Incident, that took like 14 years for them to record and release? Yeah, you don't want that. You want to get started. So here's my track order. And yes, drum roll, except it's already there. Boom, 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 boom. So yes, I've decided at this stage that these are the 5 tracks. Now, this track order can change. I do change track orders closer to the date once I start the mastering process usually, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But the track order as it stands right now is as you see it there. So we're starting with the song called Perfect. We then have Hold On, which some of you may be familiar with. Things Have Changed has made the cut, and I'm still on the fence as to whether it's going to be a very stripped down version or a bit more of a full band version, probably more stripped down. I've then got my song Fence Sitter, and then we're finishing with No Apologies. So if you're familiar with these songs, Perfect is kind of a bit of a faster, upbeat kind of song. Hold On also, these are songs of like hope and energy, and they just sort of bring it up there. This song is not. Things Have Changed is my lockdown song. Everyone's got to have a lockdown song, right? So Things Have Changed is my lockdown song, and that's what I've been working on as a bit of a message around, you know what? Everything's changed. Yeah, it's feeling bad. And it ends with This Too Shall Pass, which is like, yep, that's the next thing of hope. Then we move into Fence Sitter, which is basically, and I don't know, that may have to switch around. In fact, I think it will. Let's do it now. This is how things can change quickly with your track order. I think that might actually be the way to go. So Fence Sitter, so Perfect, Hold On, Fence Sitter, then mellowing it right down, and that will give us a nice contrast between the mellow ballad there of Things Have Changed into No Apologies, which is, again, really kicks it off and basically says, of all these things that we've just gone through in these last 4 songs, yeah, this is all just me. This is all just what I can do. I'm one human, and I'm just trying to be positive and put positivity out to the world. So that's my track order as it is. Next thing I've done here is I've gone down and put in what I need to do for each song to get it done. So for my song Perfect, I need to record acoustic guitars, record vocals, add drums. There's a question mark there around keys and guitar because it was originally written as an acoustic guitar vocal song with a few backing vocals, and what I definitely want to have in there is just some drums in there and some bass. In fact, I haven't got bass. I definitely want a very light and easy bass in the song. And then the question mark is, do we need keys and electric guitars? So when we do another video, I'm sure it'll be here on the channel where we record that one, you'll be able to help me decide, do we keep it stripped down with just the acoustic vocals, drums and bass, or do we indeed add in keys and electric guitar as well to fill it out a little bit more into a fuller mix? We've then got my track Hold On. Now, I'm pretty happy with Hold On, so what I'm doing with this one, instead of re-recording anything, we're going to review the current tracks. I'm going to do a faders down remix. So I like the song, but I'm not happy with the mix. I need to determine whether I need to re-record, and that's what the next thing here is. Do I need to re-record tracks? So likely the guitar, maybe some vocals, or do I just need to remix them and change some of the compression and the effects on there to make it really pop? That's what I'll be looking at. So we'll do a faders down mix video in the next couple of days on that one. Things have changed. So this one is what I was talking about at the start. Do I leave it as a sparse arrangement? That's the biggest question there. But what I do need to do is record the piano using Ravenscroft, which is the piano plugin I use for iOS. Records the strings, some string sounds using iSymphonic, and that'll be a good chance to do a couple of little tutorials on those two apps and see if, because they are paid apps. So that will help folks decide, do you want to invest in these if you are an iOS recorder? And I haven't put in here, but of course I need to record my vocals with that one. Next track here, Fence Sitter, although those have changed, haven't they? We've moved those around. So let's grab that and let's change this because we've just changed the order of those. There we go. So things have changed. We'll leave as a sparse arrangement, probably. No, we've already done that one, haven't we? Fence Sitter is what we're talking about. So we've got to record guitars, and with that one, I'm thinking of trying some stereo guitar recording techniques. There was a bit of interest in my last video about recording stereo guitars, so we might jump in and take a look at that. I do need to record the vocals, and I need to record some keys, and I might actually try using my my Casio piano and actually recording the analog sound of that, because I did a bit of a test run, and that sounded really good, so we may go with that. And then finally, No Apologies. Now, this one is the one that I've already released as a single, and I want to re-review the mix and maybe do a quick remix on that, determine if there's any re-records that are needed, and then do a final mix. And that one should be interesting because I get asked a lot from people, should I go back and review a song that I'm not 100% happy with and redo it, or do I just let it sit? Now, my normal advice is just let it sit, because I don't think there's a lot of value. I think you have more value in moving on and recording a new song than going back and re-recording something else. We then have the mastering, so I'm considering using Final Touch, which is what I usually use for mastering, and I'm also considering, and let me know what you think about this in the chat or the comments here, but trying out eMastered. I have tried Lander before on one song. It was okay, but I have heard good things about eMastered, but I've also heard bad things about eMastered. My buddy Tim has just finished a song, and he's trying out eMastered. It has, mixed views on it, and other people have had mixed opinions. So maybe we'll try that and compare me mastering a track versus an automated mastering service online and see what the difference is. Right, then we have the release. So my plan is to have it uploaded by the 1st of June so that it can be available on the 3rd of June. But knowing that things happen, I've given myself a 3rd of June hard date to have at least the masters done. So I'm committing, so that's why I made it Wednesday, the 3rd of June. That way it will definitely be out by the Friday and the weekend, or all things being considered, if DistroKid's not having too many delays, it'll be out by the weekend, but it gives me till the Wednesday. So hopefully it'll be the Monday, the 1st of June, it'll all be done, and the master's finished. 3rd of June, the Wednesday, if we need that little stretch time there, is the absolute hard date. And that's something that I call positive time pressure. And it's really important when you're creating a song. You might be saying, Pete, but it's got to be creative. What if its creative juices are not flowing? What if I can't get there by that date? You're going to have something done by that date, and that's the whole point here. Work will expand to fill the amount of time you give yourself. If you give yourself until the 3rd of June, you'll probably get it done by well, you will. If you're me, you'll get it done. Because I don't know about you, but I'm pretty stubborn. So I will make sure it gets done. Not at the risk of my own health or mental health, but that's why we're planning now. That's why I'm spending this time now to plan these out. And hopefully seeing my process will help you just get some ideas around some of the things you can do. And finally, sharing the projects and stems. So I wanted to put this out and ask you folks if you would like to actually have copies of the projects and the stem files, if that's something that we should do. Maybe we could do some remixing opportunities and things down the track. So once it is done, we won't be done completely. We'll have other opportunities to do things. So that's where we're at. We will return and put some dates around that so that I can start planning out what I do and when I do it, because that's important. That's important to do that reverse planning phase, because we now know the end date, but we know the start date. We're starting today with the actual process of this, but all the bits in between. We need some flag points. We need some signposts. Otherwise, we're going to either front load it or end load it, or it's not going to work out all right. That's my view anyway. Hello, who have I missed that's here live? We said good day to David. We've got Russell Rideout. Hello to you. Good to have you here on board. Tashawn says, I'm on GarageBand and have Bluetooth trying to record vocals. Always, latency with Bluetooth. The short version there is don't use Bluetooth. I have not come across a Bluetooth device that doesn't create latency, whether it's Probably the only exception is Bluetooth MIDI, which I haven't used personally, but I've heard is okay. Bluetooth for microphones, for headphones, for speakers, there is always going to be too much latency. And even like 20, 30 milliseconds of latency, it's just going to impact your recording and you're not going to get a good quality recording. So I would avoid Bluetooth headphones. Hello to Explorer Dreamer. Do you have experience with Rolly? I don't, but Rolly is an interesting one. They are, if you don't know about Rolly, they're the Rolly blocks sort of interfaces and things. I've only ever really seen them in the Apple stores. They seem really expensive, which is probably why I've never explored them, because the channel here, I'm all about mostly budget or at least affordable, good quality gear, but affordable gear. And Rolly seems to be about a 200-300% markup. It probably does some amazing cool things that I'm not aware of, but I don't know. So yeah, but if anyone else is using Rolly stuff, let me know. Johnny Vans is here. Hey, hey, hey to you. Any Indian instrument in GarageBand like the sitar or the sarod? No. So what have we got? We've got a Japanese, Chinese instruments packs. We've got, the taiko drums. We've got the erhu. There's a heap of different world instruments, but Indian music, which is strange because there's millions of people, billions of people in India. Are there a billion people in India? There's lots of people in India. Pete's showing his geography skills here. There would be a heap of iPhone and iPad users that would be wanting to use GarageBand, yet no Indian music pack. Go figure. We want a sitar and a banjo and a ukulele and a bunch of other things. Fallen Creature says, no apology sounds like a metal song. Yeah, it's just like, no apology. Yeah, it's not. You'll find out. You'll find out when you hear it that it's not a metal song. But maybe we can do a metal cover. Maybe someone can remix it as a metal tune. That sounds like a bit of fun. Jeff Brush says, I'm not Pete, but I like Breaking Benjamin. I'm missing a reference there, I think. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Greg Hernandez, don't know E-Master, but have been happy with Grand Finale so far. Yeah, so maybe, again, I don't want to make promises here because clearly the key thing we need to do is finish this EP and get it done. So in a perfect world, I'd do like a bit of a mastering shootout. So maybe after the fact, we'll do something like that. Or maybe on one track, we'll master it with a couple of different things. And I could even it might be fun to do a bit of a blind test. Maybe we do something like Grand Finale versus Final Touch versus Audio Master Pro, like 3 different software solutions, and then throw Lander and E-Mastered. And maybe I just give you those 5 files and you can listen. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth doing. Let me know if that sounds like fun. Breaking Benjamin is definitely cool. Is it a band? Oh, see, look how old and lame is Pete. He doesn't actually know. Mobile Metal uses Grand Finale and likes it a lot. Yeah, the good thing about Grand Finale and Audio Master Pro as opposed to Final Touch, you can do it on the iPhone. And I like that flexibility of having an app that is iPhone and iPad compatible, whereas your Final Touch is iPad only. Rage 5606, forgive my ignorance, but what is mastering? I've heard the term, but I've no clue what it is or what is involved. Yeah, good question. And thank you for asking, because every time you ask a question like that, I bet you at least like 10 or 20 other people have probably got the exact same question watching along as well. So there are a heap of mastering videos here on the channel, so that's my first bit of advice. Just search my name, Pete Johns Mastering, and there's the videos about how I explain what the difference is between mixing and mastering, how to master, the sort of things that mastering does. But if we break it down, it's part of the recording process. So if you think of recording as recording your song, so you actually are recording in the guitars, the vocals, the keys, the beats, the loops, the whatever, and then you mix those. So mixing is balancing out all of your volume levels, adding effects, adding compression, adding EQ, adding reverb, and getting it down to a final mix. But your final mix is not generally, it can be what you release, but what mastering does is it takes that final mix and it adds a few final little tweaks to it. Generally, the major thing we do with mastering is lifting up the overall volume level. So you might have heard about a limiter. What you do in mastering is generally adding a limiter, which will actually limit the volume, and it sounds a bit weird, but it limits it at 0 dB. So it limits it at maximum volume, and then it pulls up the quieter bits so that the overall level of your song is slightly louder. And that just sort of makes it more competitive with other songs. So if you're in a playlist on Spotify or we call it radio ready, even though no one really listens to the radio anymore. But to make your song radio ready, you want to make sure that it doesn't sound out of place. So if there's like, if you've got a rock song and there's a Foo Fighters song and then there's your song and then there's a Killers song and yours just sounds like it's quieter, like it's not punchy, it's not punching through as much, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. So mastering is just taking our final mix, adding a few tweaks, usually a limiter, maybe some EQ, maybe some compression, sometimes some reverb, but very rarely, and then making sure that it is competitive with other tracks that you may put it up against. Hopefully that helps you out. And yes, Greg's probably explained it much quicker. It's the step after balancing mixing to make the final version of the song pop. See, this is why we have the Studio Live Today community, because instead of my flowery answer with all the wavy bits, you just say, yeah, after your final mix, it's the final tweaks that you do to make the song pop. It's exactly what it is. Somebody asked my opinion on Breaking Benjamin. Sorry, I completely missed that. So clearly, I need to get in touch with that. Yes, I clearly don't know. I'm an old man. Melissa Cross, compression, etc. Yeah, so compression, limiting, EQ. That's generally what you're going to do with your mastering. Blake, hello. What is the best audio interface for iPad? In my humble opinion, it is. Oh, it's plugged in, so I can't get to it. It's this one. It's the Steinberg UR22C. This is my favorite interface. 2 channels of audio in, built like a tank, 24-bit up to 192 kilohertz, separate headphone monitoring, MIDI in, MIDI out. Yeah, it's got the lot, and it's got really nice sounding preamps and really nice quality of inputs and outputs and converters. So that's what I go with. But yeah, if you're looking for gear, head over to studiolivetoday.com/gear and you'll actually get all of my recommendations. Everything that I use is listed over there for you to check out. Excuse me. Tom Rochelle says, anyone looking for additional sounds for GarageBand, check out Bismarck BS16i. It's an AUV3 sound font player, but it comes loaded with a sound font that is almost all you would want for $7.99 in the App Store. There you go. Love a good recommendation for sure. So yes, something I will have to check out. Aaron Khan, hello to you. If you have a dongle, can you connect your keyboard and mouse? Please go in detail. I can't in this video, but if you search Pete John's mouse iPhone or Pete John's mouse iPad, yeah, I've got a bunch of videos showing exactly how to connect it and what you need to use, which is a Lightning to USB 3 adapter, and you'll be good to go. Righty dokie. So let's jump back over to my plan here. What I'm going to do now is actually map out when I'm going to have this stuff done. So the next step when I'm planning or when I'm getting ready for something like this is that I come back to my document and I work out what I need to do and when and in what order to get it done. So we're going to work backwards. So we'll come up to the top here. We know all the tracks. We know everything we need to do. So we know that by the 3rd of June, in fact, let's put the 1st of June because that's our date, and this gives us a couple of days of slippage time. Oh, that's not going to make sense for folks, is it? Here in Australia, we put the day and then the month, but let's do it this way because this will make things easier. I'll put it in like the computer sorter way. So this needs to be final masters of all 5 tracks are uploaded. So that's what we need to have done at the very end, yeah? And what we know is that today, it being here in Australia, it being the 19th, so we have our start date of the 19th, 2020. We have commence recording. So what do I need to get done each day to actually get this happening? Now, what I might do is I might work on a song a day for the next 5 days. So I'm kind of keen to work on this song Perfect today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that by the 5th of the I'm going to have a static mix of Perfect done. So that means I have to have recorded the guitars, the vocals. I got some work to do today. Record the guitars, the vocals, the drums, and have a version that I can play to you tomorrow of that song Perfect. And you can hold me to this. This is the other part of the reason that I do these sort of things and that I recommend other folks do similar is that not only am I using positive time pressure, I'm actually using joint accountability. So thank you for joining me on this journey because you are going to be my accountability buddy. Yeah, I know. It's as lame as it sounds. But you can help me be accountable because if I don't have a static mix of my song Perfect to play to you tomorrow, then you can say, Pete, you let me down, man. what's going on here? Don't you love me anymore? And I'll say, I had to go play PlayStation for 4 hours. That's not going to happen. So that's going to be my focus of the next day. And as we know, I've got my plan here, so I know that these are the things that I need to do. So I can jump straight in. This is what the rest of my day looks like. Recording acoustic guitars, recording vocals, adding drums, bass, keys, electric guitar. So this is going to be a big thing. I'm front loading myself a little bit here, of course. Next up, we're going to move on to the next track here. And actually what I want to do, I want to move it around a bit because I need some time to ponder and think about this song. Things have changed. So I'm going to go, what we need is again, a static mix of, and by the way, when I say static mix, that means that I won't necessarily have things like automation done, and I won't necessarily have all of my effects and things, but I will have a static mix, meaning the fade is in the right spot so that you could listen it back and it sounds like a cohesive song. Everything is at the right level. It's not the actual mixing process. I tend to mix a little as I go along, but then at the end we'll do a little bit more. So what I'm going to do there is do a static mix of things have changed for the next day. And yeah, it's going to be pretty much similar to this each day. So that's on Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll jump back up to Hold On. So we want to have a static mix of Hold On ready to play to you folks there. We then need to look at Fence Sitter. And the reason I'm leaving No Apologies to the last day, let me just check what days this is, because I also have my weekend show commitments that I need to do. So I need to make sure that I've got some time there. So that is, so the 23rd being Friday. And then what I might do is on Saturday, instead of doing my Ask Me Anything show, I will do a review of No Apologies. So, because No Apologies needs the least amount. So what I might do is actually, no, I won't. I'll make No Apologies this day. I'll actually do Hold On because No Apologies I think doesn't need much work. I'm going to do, so this will be a video and this will be a live mix review of Hold On. And that's going to be faders down. So that way you can see behind the process, because that's the one where I've already released that song and we're going to bring it down. We're going to put the faders down. We're going to bring each track up. We're going to review and make sure that each track is quality, like good enough quality to have in there. We'll then earmark any tracks that we need to re-record so that over the weekend I can re-record those, because that one needs the most sort of decision making. These four, that one's almost done. I don't think we need to move much on that. This will be a lot of work today. That'll be a fair amount of work tomorrow. This will be quite a bit of work on Friday, and then this will be my Saturday. So you can see here, we've still got a bit of gap here. We've still got a week here to do mixing and mastering, but at least we're starting to plan things out here. And again, I recommend doing this because if you don't do, where would I be on Friday? Would I really realize that I need to actually have my static mixes of all 4 of my 5 songs done by Friday? No, I probably wouldn't. I'd be just sort of noodling around, jumping from song to song, getting confused and getting distracted. So this is what I need to do. We're then going to go to the Sunday, and remembering that I have the happy hour and my Q&A show on Sunday to do. So that might be, so what we might do is we'll do another video sort of maybe the Sunday afternoon. We'll do a live review of all 5 tracks. So we'll kind of listen through to them and start getting a feel for what we need to do in the mixing phase and how they're going to work together as one cohesive release. Because with an EP, it's different than releasing 5 singles. You want to hear them in their state and go, yeah, is this order right? How are we going to master these? All of that sort of stuff. So that's what we'll do there. We then move into the 26th of May, which is next week. Now, so that's 5 days' time. Yeah. Yeah, so that's, oh, hang on, have I got this right? Let me just bring up my calendar. Don't worry. Yeah, so the 25th is actually the Monday, isn't it? Okay, that still makes sense. I'm probably a day out in my planning of this. I might have to tweak a few of these dates, but you don't need to be here while I tweak dates. So that's where we get to there. So we've got our 5 tracks there. So now we move into the mixing phase. So next Monday is going to be mix day. So mixing and at that stage, what I'll do is I'll do the mixing of all 5 tracks. So I'll play back and start the mixing process of all 5 of the tracks that we'll have there. On this day, so at that point, I've got all of them to a close point, yeah? And then I'll do the final mix for each different song and then the master. So let's see if we have enough time to do this. How many days do we have here? I should have planned this out beforehand. How many days in May? Someone help me out here. Do we get 31? I hope so. January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, woot. We get an extra day. Right, so this should give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Ooh, that's gonna bring us down. So what I probably need to do is have here we need to have no apologies finished because that one's going to be the easiest one. Final mix, and then here we'll just work through each one. So we need the perfect final mix done. We need the things have changed. Final mix done. Final mix. Final mix. And then we've already done no apologies. So then it's just fence sitter and hold on. Fence sitter and hold on. And the beautiful part of doing something like this is that it gives us some gaps. So if you're working on multiple songs, you're not getting stuck. So notice that I haven't done one song where I have to do the recording, the mixing, the mastering. I'm letting each song breathe. So I'm doing the recording process, few days gap while I do some other things, doing the original static mix, few days gap while I'm doing that, and then coming back to it. So yeah, this is going to work well because say for perfect here, I know that today I need to do that. And then when I do this video, I actually do the review of the tracks. I do that sort of first initial mix there of all of them, including perfect. That one might have to change there because I'm then jumping straight into it the next day. But yeah, I'm at least giving myself some gaps with here. It gives me 1 day to master, but that's okay because mastering, if I do the mixing well, the mastering process shouldn't actually take that long. So mastering of all tracks, and then if that goes well, then the final tracks will be uploaded there. And then, of course, we've built in 2 days of buffer. So we have a buffer day, and a buffer day. So that is it. So we've worked backwards. We know that here is our final date. That's where we need to have things done by. And then here we're commencing the recording. That's why I got it wrong, because today's the 19th, not the 20th. So I've bought myself an extra day. There you go. So I don't have to do anything today. All right, see you folks. I'm going to the beach. But no, I will start on that today, and maybe though these days will shimmy up a little bit as I go, because like most things, if you've ever worked in project planning, you have your plan, but then you need to be able to pivot on things. So there may be some changes that happen along the way. But the thing is, I prefer to have a plan that I can then change along the way rather than no plan, because I just find that you lack direction. So there you go. This has been Scheduling and Planning with Pete. Who would have thought that creating music could be so boring? No. Hopefully, again, you get some value out of this. And you can see it's not a long exercise. Like we're working for the next 2 weeks to record a song. Spending 20 minutes doing that right up front is going to help us big time. And if you're just recording one song, it's even easier. All you need to do is say, when am I going to have all the recordings done? When am I going to have the first static mix done, my rough draft mix? When is the final mix going to be done? When will the master be finished? When will I release it? If you go through those 5 steps and work backwards, so here's your release date, mastering date, final mix date, static mix date, recording, then you're going to be fine. You're going to have that plan in place and you'll be able to get there. Hopefully, and hopefully we will here as well. Alrighty. So we have our plan in place. I'll just see if we've got any comments from other folks who are kind enough to be here live. Explorer Dreamer. You can tell I'm a muso because like every time I see the word dreamer, I'm just like, drummer? You play drums? You drum, dude? Explorer Dreamer. Any voice harmonizer tips? So the couple of things, I mean, to be honest, I generally, if I'm doing harmonies, I will just re-record them. I have in the past used, there's a few cool synth patches in GarageBand that you can use that are kind of like choir and vocal synth patches. So if you search for voice or synth or voice or vocal or choir, sometimes just adding those in with your actual voice, your original vocals can actually work well. There is the voice, what is it called? Someone help me out here. The vocal transformer. So there is a plugin called the Vocal Transformer, and there is even there's a preset in GarageBand, isn't there, that's called like Many Stereo Voices or something. It's not that, but let's have a look what it's actually called. More sounds, vocals. It is called Extra Singer, which I think actually just adds in the Vocal Transformer plugin from memory. Let's have a quick squiz. But yeah, so it adds in the Vocal Transformer plugin for you if you try that. So there's a couple of little tips, but yeah, you really can't beat having like a nice sort of 3 or 4 part harmony where you're singing it, all the different parts. To me, that works a lot better. 1,000 watts. Can you get the irig blueboard to have less latency? irig blueboard, I'm not familiar with. Let's have a squiz at the irig blueboard while we're going. By the way, if you do have questions about your recording process, let me know too. I know I asked this on the channel, but are you recording? Will you be releasing a song by the 3rd of June too? Do you have a song, an EP? Do you have something in the works? What are you working on? What challenges are you having? Because over the next 2 weeks, I'll be documenting my process, but I want to make sure it aligns with the things that you are doing. And if you're having trouble with things and you need me to make a video to help with them, then by all means, let me know. All right, what have I missed with the irig blueboard? Because I do like the irig products these days. I'm using quite a few of them. Oh, here we go. So it's a Bluetooth, the first wireless MIDI pedal board controller for iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Where have I been sleeping that I don't know that this is a thing? Let's bring it up here on the screen and take a quick look, shall we? This is it. Okay, the irig Blueboard, the first wireless MIDI pedal board controller. Ah, there you go. So what do you got? You got 4 pedal buttons there. You plug it into your iPad. It looks pretty old because it's got a pretty old iPad there. It's obviously been around for a while. So is it, if it's Bluetooth, is it late? I guess, does latency really matter that much when you're just kicking a pedal board on? I don't know. So you got your inputs there, 1 and 2 that can go in there. Yeah, very cool. So what does it do? So how does it work? It connects your iPod Touch, iPhone, or iPad or Mac via Bluetooth, and when you press its foot switches, it sends out control signals that are converted to MIDI by any compatible apps. irig Blueboard is Apple's. All right, interesting. No, I haven't used it. Has anyone used one? Yeah, I don't know. Apps like Sample Tank and iGround Piano. So is it sending MIDI of your? I don't quite get the MIDI implementation here. Yes, I'll accept your cookies. Interesting. Yeah, let me know if you've tried one or if you know more about it. Let me know because I never have. Clearly, I'm behind the 8 ball on that one. Good stuff. Hello to Bruce Orr. No, you're going to have a question I'm going to have to peer over the top of your question here. Hi, Pete. Layering guitars, vocals, and bass guitars seem to work well for a radio-ready sound. I use the beat sequencer for my drums. My question is using several tracks for drums, at least 4 tracks, because drums are a set of instruments into one. For instance, bass 1, toms 2, snare 3, and cymbals 4. What is your take on this procedure? Yeah, so my take on this is that that's a good way to go. And I showed in the last one. In fact, do I have it here? I do have it up here. I'll bring up this one. I'll just pop your question away so that we can bring this up. I need to test this anyway for my next lot of shows. So I'm just going to test my Reflector app to see if I can reflect, if it's actually going to work today. And let me reflect my screen up onto here. Yes, it is. We're working today. I had to do a bit of network maintenance to get all of this happening in the last couple of days. So let me throw this up on the screen. Put my iPad up on the screen so you can follow along at home. Boom, boom. Yes, I'm using AirPlay. If we pop this up here, yeah, so this is my song called No Apologies, which I grab my, yep, there it is. There's my little green Kajiga. What's the latency going to be like? Yeah, pretty bad. So yeah, this is where Jade Starr created this drum track. So there you can see there's the drums, like there's the whole drum track together. Is this going to work if we play it? So there's your overall drum track. But then if we come in here and we solo all of these, then yeah, that's exactly what Jade's done here. So you see we've got kicks, snare, hats, toms, cymbal 1, cymbal 2, and the ride cymbal there. So all the different tracks are all the different drum sounds are on different tracks. And now the benefit of this is that you can actually adjust all of these. So if you want to, you can, like these don't have a lot of change in panning because they're already panned out, but you could adjust the panning, but you can adjust the settings. Sorry, I'll stop that for a minute. You can adjust the settings independently. So if you want, you can see here there's slight differences in the volumes of each one. So instead of having to go through and play around with a bunch of your different MIDI, what's that thing called? Oh, MIDI, not volume, not gain. What am I trying to talk about? Hittingness. Oh, come on, Pete. It'll tell me here, will it, if I tap on it? Velocity. Thank you. Instead of having to play around with all your different velocities, you can dial in the different sounds there, and you can adjust the compression. So if you want a really fat kick drum and snare drum, you can up the compressor on those. But if you want your cymbals to be a little bit more light, you can reduce the compression on those. So yeah, it is a good way to go. And I usually don't have the patience to do it. I'll normally just like throw a drummer track on my songs and be done with it. But Jay did this for this track. And what I'll be doing, so I'm actually finally, I know I've been saying this for what, 3 months now, or maybe longer. I'm going to be plugging in GarageBand to my eDrums, which I have upstairs. That's why I'm pointing up to my eDrums and recording tracks like this and seeing if I can separate them out because, yeah, it's a good way to go to separate out so that you can get that distinct sound by mixing together your different tracks. So there you go. And the good news is that that worked and it let me share my screen over there, which is a good thing. But good comments and good question there, Bruce, and we'll definitely be exploring that over the coming weeks here. Recommendation here around audio interfaces. Yeah, there's also the Steinberg UI12, which costs a little less, but is still good. Yeah, and I've been using, so I only just upgraded probably 6 months ago to the Steinberg UI22C. The UI12 is fantastic for beginners, especially. It's almost the same. It's still got two channels. It's just that one is mic only and one is guitar only. And what's the other thing? It doesn't have balanced out, which only really matters if you're using high-end monitor speakers, to be honest. But apart from that, still 24 bits, still up to 192 kilohertz, still the same D-Pre Yamaha preamps in there, basically the same converter in there. So yeah, you can't really go far wrong with that. Oh, Timothy, you're at work. I apologize. But yes, cheers to you. Cheers to everyone. Cheers to those working and keeping the country running, with the various countries running. My country, everyone's country. And I hope you are safe and well and doing okay wherever you are in the world on this. What is a Tuesday morning for me, Monday afternoon, evening for many of you. We'll answer a few questions and then we'll finish off. I might, for those that want to hang around, I need to do a quick run through of all the songs here just as a bit of a practice. So I'm going to tack that on the end here if anyone wants to hang around and listen to the songs while I practice. Yes, I know it's a bit self-serving, but it's actually super important because I need to practice these like crazy over the next couple of days because I still don't quite know all the lyrics and all the bits that I'm going to play in the guitar. So I'm still almost not writing the songs, but I'm still cementing the songs in my head as we go. So we'll do that. We'll do a little impromptu performance at the end. But yeah, answer a few questions before we do that. Aaron says, can you connect a Bluetooth mouse and Bluetooth keyboard to an iPhone? You sure can. So yes, if you want to do that, I'll just unmirror my iPad here so I can bring up my screen again. Where is this one? Boop. There we go. That was the blueboard we were looking at. Let's just see if I can find the right videos for you to check for. This is how I search for my own videos. I know it seems weird. I should probably know where my videos are. But what I do is I just search my name and then I search mouse. And we should be able to find, yep, there we go. So there's how to connect a mouse. So that shows you both Bluetooth. In fact, this one's probably better, mouse plus iPad. I definitely show my Bluetooth mouse, and then you can see my mouse with my iPad showing exactly how to do that. So if you search Pete John's mouse, that second video that pops up there will tell you that. And if you want a full sort of exploration of keyboards and mice and every different device, that rhymes. I should be a songwriter. Then you can go to that third one. Don't watch that one because I made that before mouse support came. In fact, I need to come back and I need to change that thumbnail to just say, like to have a big thing across it saying, oh, sorry, you can't see it. This one here, I need to change this thumbnail to just say, you can now, because I basically said you can't connect a mouse right now, but you will be able to with iOS 13. That is no longer accurate because you can actually now connect a mouse. So maybe we need to change that one as well. All right, let's continue on. Where was that? Aaron, there you were. Johnny Van says fence sitter, top-notch chorus on that one, well written all around. Thank you, my friend. I will be playing it in a moment, so if you haven't heard these songs before and you want to take a listen, then hang around. We'll have a quick play of them. Melissa Cross says, have a good day. I worked for a recording studio for several years. This was my job. Yeah, good stuff. I've never worked in a recording studio, clearly. Not because I'm using GarageBand and because I'm in a home studio, but yeah, I do have respect for those who have. And I learn lots from people who have been professionals in the industries, for sure. Let's see. Battalion says that today is the 19th for you because it's still the 18th here. Yes, I'm here in the future. Yes. Um, Rage is saying that my brother was in the music industry before he passed away. Sorry to hear. And I never knew anything about the process. A commercial record must have been much more intense and complicated, I imagine. I think, yeah, the beauty part is I say this often, but we live in the future. You simply couldn't create the sort of quality recordings we can create now in the home studio 10 years ago, and definitely not 20 years ago. The fact that we can grab our iPhone or our iPad and record high quality digital audio, mix it together, 32 tracks, 24-bit, it's kind of insane. But yeah, like I say, much respect for those who do that, for those who actually have worked hard. And it's kind of the same. Like I do feel bad, like people that worked in the newspaper industry and the television industry. Obviously, things like social media and YouTube and for recording, home recording has in many ways sort of cut the lunch of professional recording. Yeah, I do feel sympathy, empathy for people that have been in that industry, but the really good people in that industry have evolved with it. Like they've moved on and they've embraced a lot of this stuff. And instead of just saying, "Oh no, the recording studio industry has gone away and that no one's buying CDs anymore," well, no. But if you move on with it, the actual listening to music and creating music is more popular than ever. So there's a heap of opportunities there. That's the glass half full way of thinking about it, I think. Johnny Van says, maybe I can get comfortable enough to do one song in GB by then. I can't commit yet. Let you know in July. No problem. No pressure here. But yeah, it's worth trying. And that's the thing. Like you won't know till you try, right? Give it a crack. Jeff says, personally, starting from almost zero, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to get something completed. Totally cool. I find there's literally tons to learn here. Plus, there's real life that gets in the way. 100%. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, set yourself whatever goal is going to work for you. I put out there that to record a song, but it totally doesn't have to be. Like, it's whatever is going to work for you. If your thing is to learn how to do 10 things in GarageBand or have a list of things to learn, and that's the level you're at, then that's cool. So, yeah, I don't want to. There's a lot of this sort of talk at the moment around, like, yeah, I know I said positive time pressure, but I also sprinkled in there a bit of don't do it at the detriment of your own physical or mental health, for sure. The whole hustle culture thing, the whole work 14 hours a day, the harder you work, the further you get. I mean, it's true. If your aspirations are up here, maybe that's true. But for most of us, maybe we don't want that. Maybe we want to set realistic goals. Setting goals is good, but realistic goals are more important than aspirational stuff that you won't reach. You need stuff you're going to be able to actually do. Jade Star is here. Didn't realize you were going live. No, it was a last minute thing, Jade. So we just jumped in to have a quick chat here. Jeff says, having said that, I'm learning and progressing, and that's the thing. Like, keep doing, keep learning, keep getting on and doing it. Fallen Creature, I've a hard time doing my screaming stuff, so I'm just wondering if that's common. Talk to Jade Star. She's good at doing her screaming stuff, so get onto it. Velocity, back when I was stumbling with my words and trying to work out what the MIDI thing I was trying to do, Johnny Vans was all over it. Let's see. Any other comments, questions? Questions here from Bronte. Would you import music? Would you import from music memos to GB when you put? Let's start again. When you import from music memos to GB, it puts it in different sections, which I'm not sure how to work. How do I put it all back into one section? Yeah, so music memos, what it does is it actually uses a flexible time signature or flexible tempo, which GarageBand doesn't technically support. So the reason it puts it in those sections is so that it can sort of go faster and slower. The only real way that I've found to use music memos to record and then keep using, like I use it for ideas and then I'll basically go into GarageBand and re-record at a set tempo. If you record to a separate metronome and you're right on the beat, then you can bring it into GarageBand and it should line up and say, yes, this is 120 BPM. But the problem that you're having and that others may have is that, yeah, if you've got that flexible tempo, it might not quite work. So yeah, that's what I'd that's my take on that one. Scrolling down, lots of questions and comments, which is fantastic. Love having everyone here asking and contributing. Talking guitar sounds in GarageBand, which is cool. Hello to Raj Patel. Rock on, my friend. Rock on over there as well, please. Talking about. All right, I think I've nearly caught up. Uh, yes, we are good. Jade says yes. I've been doing some grind vocals and guitar today, working on my new FMC album, and I'll let you not here in the chat, but yeah, ping Jade and ask her what FMC stands for. It's definitely not part of it's not for the PG-13 vibe that I put on this channel, but very good music, and definitely get over and check that out. Michael Smith said, a friend said to me that I should music theory first, but I'm more hands-on rather than books. Yeah, so I mean, here's the thing. When people give you advice, it's generally because that's what worked for them. And I'm as guilty as anyone of this. So let's have a quick rant and then we'll get on and play some music, shall we? So to rant on this for a moment, when people say you should, like, here's the things that we need to remove from our vocabulary. You should always, you need to, you must, you have to. All of these things are not taking into account the learning style and preferences of the person you're talking to. What we need to replace that with is, when I was doing this, in my experience, in my opinion, people make definitive statements. And again, when I'm saying people, I'm pointing and talking to me too. A definitive statement saying you must learn theory before you learn practical stuff doesn't work for everyone. If you are a kinesthetic learner, meaning that you are hands on, that you have to actually touch and feel and do things to learn how to do things, then learning theory is going to A, be boring, B, not be actually tapping into your learning style, and C, probably send you backwards because you're going to get so frustrated that you don't understand it. For some people, you need to actually see a keyboard, fiddle around with it, play notes, play chords, work it out, and then over time you'll learn, oh, I didn't realize I was playing an A minor diminished chord. That's pretty cool. That works for so many people. And again, I think people get stuck in this. I was talking about on the weekend. It's the Mac versus PC. It's the Android iPhone. It's the Pro Tools GarageBand. It's people taking their experience, and because they've got a vested interest, they've invested time, money, and energy into the way they've done it, and they feel that it's working for them. Instead of saying, hey, this is what worked for me, you may want to consider it, they say, this is the way I did it, you need to do it that way too. I know that was a bit of a tangential rant, but it gets me really frustrated when people make definitive statements saying, you have to, you need to, you must. My view on this is, here's an idea, here's a concept. Like, if you watched all that organizational stuff at the start that I did, and you're like, Pete, lovely, good on you, mate, but I don't want to do any of that. I just want to record, and when it's done, and then I'll release it. More power to you. The only reason I do this stuff is I know there's people like me that are just frustrated with their inability to finish and release songs. So I'm sharing the methods that have worked for me. If they work for you, great. If they don't, don't. Sorry, I'm a bit ranty, probably because I was reading some comments this morning, and I don't normally get worried by comments on YouTube. It is what it is. But a few people were saying, like a video that's got, lots of views and lots of comments and lots of likes, and then I'll just occasionally get someone going, you are talking complete rubbish. This isn't helpful for anyone. I'm like, well, no, what you mean is this doesn't tap into my style of learning, therefore I didn't find it useful. That's totally cool. I'll accept that every day and twice on Sunday. But to say to a video that's got like 1,000 likes and 200 comments, this doesn't help anyone, I kind of have to go, well, it's clearly helped someone. Like, sometimes I think people that are the minority in something need to take a big step back and a big deep breath and go, maybe it's actually me that's different, not everyone else that's different. And maybe it's just me that needs something that's not this. Anyway, I'm clearly ranting and getting off track, so I will stop now. Raj Patel, do you like Bollywood music? No. Not that I don't like it, but I'm not familiar enough with Bollywood music. It's kind of like country music to me. I don't know enough about it to know whether I like it or not. Does that make any sense? I hope so. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that I haven't listened to enough. I don't understand it. Because it's in a different language, I don't know Hindi. So, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to say yes or no. Is it kind of cool? Do I love watching Bollywood dances? Is it interesting and it's something different? Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Wyatt says, my next album is coming in 2022. There you go. You got a plan. That's all I'm saying. That's all you need to do. Make sure you got a plan. Jade's been playing with a new app, Audio Bridge. It's like music memos, but multi-track and free. That is very, very cool. Jade, you're always coming at it with the information and the news. If no, can I send you my mix to you to get feedback? Everyone is welcome to send me songs. I always say I can usually have enough time to listen to and give you like 5 dot points saying what I think of it and maybe some tips of things you can do. I don't always have a lot of time to do sort of more in-depth stuff, but always send it to me. And I'm usually between 3 to 7 days behind in emails. So yeah, if it's don't expect a 24-hour or a same day response, because unfortunately it's just a time thing. If I responded to every email and every message straight away, I'd actually get 0 videos and 0 music created. So I figure folks would rather wait a few days till I can catch up on my admin and still get the videos and the music stuff produced. I know I would prefer it. Otherwise, this just becomes an admin job. And I already got one of those where I just have to answer emails. So I want this to be more about the music and the videos. David says, good rant, no rules in music. Yeah, exactly. There are no rules. And yeah, always haters out there. Yeah, there are. I know. And I know all the things, by the way. I know that it's more about them than it is about me. It's that they're in an unhappy place, and that if they've got enough time to watch something, dislike it, and then spend their own valuable time telling the creator how much they disliked it instead of moving on and finding something that they do like. Yeah, I know all that stuff. Sometimes I do just have to have a wee rant and get it off my chest. So that is going to do it for that. But as I said, if anyone is keen to hang around, feel free to. Don't have to. That's the information. We're now going to get a wee bit self-indulgent, because I'm going to grab the guitar and we are going to jump in and play a version of these songs, mostly so I can get some practice in. So let's jump over here. Oh, that's still my thing there. We'll grab my thing here. Now what I should be able to do is bring up the lyrics over here. There's my lyrics. I'll probably need to chop these so I can put them all on one screen and see them properly, and then zoom them in. So we'll just cut that there, bring it over here, and pop it over here. Oh, that was really bad chop. We need to do that. This will make it easier for me to see them on the screen, and you'll be able to see them and sing along too. Why not? So sorry, I will be looking off to the side because I'll be playing over there. Let's plug my guitar in, shall we? Get a bit of a sound going on here. Sorry. All right, I'll be with you in a moment. Hold the line. Your call is important to me. Let's turn up the volume on this guitar, and we'll do a quick tuning. Who uses a snark tuner, by the way? I love my snark tuners. I've got 3 of them, so they can sit on top of all of my guitars at pretty much all times. Or do you use an app? What's your go-to tuning method? Use an app on your phone, a clip-on tuner? Do you have perfect pitch? Do you use a piano? Whatever you do, let me know. Guitar folks. I know there's many of you guitar folks out there. David, Jade, many of you play guitar. Johnny, you look like a guitarist. All right, let me know how the mix goes as we go here. I'll play the first one here. So this is going to be a quick preview of the EP. As I said, we've done all the organisation stuff. We're going to play this one here. This is called Perfect, and it needs a capo, so it helps if you put your capo on, Pete. Do you say capo or capo? Capo? All right, let's do this. This is my tune called Perfect. It goes like this. 2, 3, 4. Life isn't always fair. Everyone has their problems. It's easy to hide away and harder to find solutions. But I know this for sure. This ain't a dress rehearsal, so don't wait to see the sign. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful, they say. But Sometimes it feels that way. You will not always win. Sometimes you lack direction. You gotta stay the course, 'cause you're gonna face rejection, and you won't always know there's a battle ahead. Sometimes the war is in your head. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. And I don't know what is left to say, 'cause sometimes you hide away and look back on your mistakes. You cannot turn back time and make everything seem fine. So remember, life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. 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 I was watching my my light clipping there as I was playing that, so apologies for that. A couple of those louder vocals would have gone, ah, would have clipped and distorted. And I was also, despite my tuning, my E string was still flat. And my B was sharp. The B sharp. The B sharps. Righty dokey. Question here. So while you were just singing the song perfect, did you use a mixer? The live came to me just like recording, the clarity. Yeah, so it does. So my mixer has some built-in effects. Hello. So I'm using this one. So I'm using the Zoom Live Track L8, and this the mixer has this little mix knob here that I can just add a light bit of effects in, and this effect is, what am I using? It's the Vocal 1 effect. So it's got a bit of reverb and a little delay. So when I throw it on, I'll put it right up. Check. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, just adds a little bit of that nice warmth when I'm playing my tunes. So thank you. Let us go through the next song. What is the next song on the list? It is Hold On. What I'll do is, before I sing this one, excuse me, need some iced coffee for sustenance. I'll turn down the input on the microphone. We'll do the same thing here and just make sure I can actually see all of the lyrics at once. So we'll do it from about there. Is that going to work? No, we can probably go from there. Hold on, it's going to be a long time. This bit might be a good country and western song. Well, I should do a country version of this. That would be a lot of fun. After I've insulted people by saying I don't like country music or Bollywood music, I actually kind of do. I wrote a song called Home, which was a country song that sounded a bit like this. That was a... Hold on. Hold on. It's gonna be a long time. Yeehaw. Hold on. It's gonna be a long, long time. Yeehaw! Was that offensive? I didn't mean it to be. Yeah, I do like country songs. Maybe it's growing on me. Bit of country and western sound. Is it still called country and western? Is Western different from country? Why is it country and Western? Is Western music a whole separate genre? I don't know, man. Anyway, let's throw on theirs. Throw there that one. Ba ba da ba ba. So yeah, there is my sound. Let's practice this one. This is my song called "Hold On," and this will be track number 2 on the EP that I'll be recording here on Studio Live today. Up, turn down that gain. Turn the gain down a little bit so it doesn't come through too loud. Life is long and you have much time. You're in a rush and you don't know why. You want it all and you want it now, but you doubt your talent and you don't know how. Look around at what others see. Think it's easy, so why not you? But success isn't overnight, so if you want to win, you're gonna have to fight. Hold on, hold on. It's gonna be a long time. Hold on, 'cause it's gonna be a long, long time. Hey! There are times when you might fit in, thinking there's just nowhere to win. Looking sideways at other folks, thinking you're the butt of everyone's jokes. But there's one lesson that I've learned. When you feel that you can't return, that is that you should persevere, because you won't get it done by living in fear. Hold on, it's gonna be a long time. Hold on, 'cause it's gonna be a long, long time. Oh, oh, They say get rich, buy a car, a house, a diamond ring, but that won't really make you happy. And at this point, I think it was Case who actually did the remix where it all just stops, where it goes junk, and it stops for like half a bar, and then it goes, hold on, it's gonna be a long time. Hold on, 'cause it's gonna be a long, long time. Hold on, it's gonna be a long time. Hold on, 'cause it's gonna be a long, yes, it's gonna be a long, and it's gonna be a long, long time. Sorry, couldn't resist. Had to have a wee bit of fun there at the end. So that is Hold On. Yeah, so there's a few things that I'm thinking of sort of changing for that one. I'm thinking that one should really rock. So I'm thinking I've got to get a little bit more distorted guitars in the mix. I've got to make that a little bit sort of grungier and grimier than the original version, because we'll start off with Perfect. We'll then go into Hold On, sort of a song about desperation, and then we'll sort of go right down mellow for the next couple, which I'll play in a minute, Fence Sitter and Things Have Changed. And then we'll kick it up a notch towards the end there. So we'll play the next 3 songs. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. We got anyone explaining Western? In Western, you can hear the horse keeping the beat. Clip, clop, a clip, a clop, a clip. Johnny Van says there's so many different within country. I assure you would be, very least, Jason Isbell, the king of singer-songwriter. Yeah, I've heard of Jason Isbell, but I haven't, I haven't got into it. I was so judgmental. Was anyone else that grew up sort of in the 90s with the whole grunge alternative stuff? I was so judgmental that I missed out on so much music. and now I regret it. Now I want to go back and just actually get into like hip hop and get into some of the cool EDM type music that was being created there back in the day, and even some of the more mellow stuff that I just went, no, that's a wussy. It doesn't have a distortion pedal in it. It's not good. Anyway, the song has a bit of a Celtic feel to it. Does it remind you of something from a Newfoundland band? Ah, yeah, but potentially. It's a little bit Celtic. We have both style, country and western, Blues Brothers. Good old Blues Brothers. And I like the idea of rocking up Hold On. Yeah, especially that last chorus. I can just long, long time. Yeah, just like really kicking it hard into that final chorus. So that's what we'll be working on, which you'll get to see here on the channel because we will be doing it. All right, let's bring up. So now what I'm thinking is that we move into Fence Sitter, which is this one here, which I've just moved around a bit. I'll just pop you off there. Dropkick, yeah, Proclaimers and Dropkick Murphy. Yeah, I love the Proclaimers. I did the Wannabe 500 Miles song in one of my happy hours, and I do love the Dropkick Murphys. I would play kicking. What is it called? Kicking Up to Boston. Someone will help me. Something Boston. I played that Boston song of theirs a heap at the hockey. Yeah, really, really cool. Anyway, people are probably saying, yeah, that's one of their songs, Pete. You're clearly not a fan. Sorry. All right, let's put this. Now this is, you can tell that this one hasn't had a full sort of treatment because I don't even have all of the words and all the chords here. But if we just grab this and we'll do what we did with the other ones, put it on the other side of the screen so I can at least see the lyrics and the chords and play along at home. And you can watch me and see how much I mess up. So yeah, clearly what I need to do, I need to go for a walk today and just have these playing and sing along and get myself really accustomed to the lyrics. Because there's no excuse. I've said before that if you're singing, when you're recording vocals, you need to know the words. So maybe I need to do it one song at a time. So because I'm singing Perfect today, I probably need to go out and listen to Perfect like 17 times in a row until I know it word for word, syllable for syllable. Anyway, let's play this one. This is Fence Sitter, and I'm going to try this with the pick. Because if you've heard me play it before, I play it like more as a finger style, and I'm actually really bad at finger style because I have no fingernails. I have to use my finger, like the pads of my fingers, and it sounds all scratchy. So I'm going to use a thinner pick. We're going with the Dunlop. What's this? It's a 0.73, so it's probably a medium actually, but just so that we get a little bit of a lighter sound, and we'll experiment with this because this may help us with the final recording as we go through. What is going on there? Oh wow, I'm still getting this weird interference on my channel coming through from that cable from my iPad. Maybe I need a new iPad. Maybe I should go out and buy myself a new iPad Pro. Whoop whoop. All right, we'll just turn down my thing. Oh, I won't need to turn down too much because this is a quieter song. So this is a song called Fence Sitter, all about it being okay to not make decisions about things and not have a strong opinion on things. Sometimes you can just go, yeah, everyone's got a reasonable argument, just don't hurt each other, please. That's my view anyway. All right. Dodgy G string. We'll try this. We'll get there, don't worry. I have a lot of thoughts, but I may not say a lot of them. I let the words come out every now and then. Think a lot of things that many others disagree with, but you won't even know unless you choose to ask. Sometimes it's easier to fly when you're just too tired to fight. I'm a fence sitter. Sometimes I like to keep my thoughts to myself. It's easier facing up to the conflict. And I know that not everyone's this way, but it's how I get through the day. Fence-sitter. You might think I'm weak, and I should just express myself, but it's not black and white all of the time. I should pick a side, go all in with one direction, but I don't think that's right for me anyway. Sometimes I try to close my mind, but there's always another side. I'm a fence-sitter. Sometimes I like to keep my thoughts to myself. It's easier facing up to the conflict, and I know not everyone's this way, but it's how I get through the day. Fence-sitter, fence-sitter. What? And I don't expect you to be the same, but I'm asking for you to refrain from making me feel ashamed. You know what I need to do before I do anything else? I need to put the bloody chords in for this last bloody bit. Because, yeah, sometimes I try. Hang on, let's just go to the bit. So, I should pick a side. Sometimes I try to close my mind. There's always another side. I'm a fence. Yep, so then I play that again, the chorus. So let's actually put it in, because that's a lot easier. I'm a fence-sitter. Everything's sounding country to me today. Sometimes I like to keep my thoughts to myself. It's easier. I don't know why am I so country today? And I don't think, and I don't, hang on. And I don't expect you to be the same, but I'm asking, yeah, so then it goes back to the F sharp minor there, doesn't it? And I don't, F sharp minor. I don't expect you to be the same, F sharp minor, same, but I'm asking, that's the B7. But I'm asking for you to refrain from making me feel, which is ashamed, a D, a D. And then I don't think I say fence-sitter again, do I? I just play it out with an A. Let's just see if this makes sense here. So, I'm a fence-sitter. Sometimes I like to keep. Sometimes, I can't even remember the thing. Where's the chorus? I'm a fence-sitter. I've lost it here. You know, sometimes when you just lose your mojo and you're like, where am I? What am I doing? What is this? Yeah. I'm a fence-sitter. Sometimes I like to keep my thoughts. I'll come back to that because clearly you don't need to watch me try and work it out. But what I've put here in my notes is that I think we need some organ sounds and some like vibrato guitar or something to play along with that one. I think that will sound good to have like the like a do 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 do. So something like that, and maybe just sort of like a boom, like a very very soft like side stick or a rim shot kind of sound on a drum kit, just in that second verse, just to sort of kick it along and just give it a little bit of rhythm. But let me know what you think, because I always want your feedback and your opinions. Alrighty. Ronnie Davis got here late. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll have to jump back and check it out on the replay if you missed out stuff. Um, Ray says you seem to have quite the setup. Is there a dream component you're dreaming of? The dream I'm dreaming of is probably a new iPad. So that's probably the next thing I'm getting is a new iPad Pro, which I'm shopping around for at the moment. Just trying to decide on size and capacity of that. And then, because I'm rocking at the moment the one you can see back there, which is the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. That's the first generation though. And then I've got a iPad Air 2, which is the one I'm using here at the moment. So yeah, I'm going, and the beautiful part about that is once I have that, I'll be able to use the USB-C to output via HDMI, and hopefully if I can kajigger around Apple's like limitations there, be able to display a decent quality HDMI output from my iPad into my stream would be good. Jade, can you do that? Have you tried that at all? Like, have you got an HDMI capture? I'll be playing with it anyway. I do need a new iPad. Thank you, Johnny Vans. That chorus is rock solid. That's the one. Yeah, I like it. It just says it's very meaningful. It's very meaningful to me. Because yeah, like I used to get, oh, you're just sitting on the fence. Make a decision. I'm just like, actually, no. I'm going to own that. I'm going to embrace sitting on the fence. I like sitting on the fence. I like being a fence sitter. Now let's jump into the next one. Now my screen sharing and my playback here is it still? It's still doing weird stuff, isn't it? It's still got this weirdness going through. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to do this out of order. I'm going to play No Apologies here, and then I'm going to jump in and we'll play the final song. We'll finish off with Things Have Changed. No, that won't work, will it? Jade says, yes, you can have HDMI out easy. Yeah, you can use anything. I'm just hoping that, because what happened with the HDMI out from my iPad is that the capture card thingy, it would work for a monitor, and as soon as I tried to put it into an HDMI capture device to try and actually stream it, it went, Apple doesn't want you to do this. You might stream Disney Plus or something. I don't know. So that kind of sucked. Let me just do a quick bit of maintenance here. I'm going to plug this iPad into my audio interface and then use the audio interface output to try and get a decent quality signal. And what I'm going to do, so if you watched a stream a couple of times ago, I played along to Jade's arrangement, which was more of a full arrangement here for my song. What am I singing? Things Have Changed. Yeah. So this time what I'm going to do is, sorry Jade, but I'm turning off everything but the pianos that you programmed here. So let's just play this and see if this is going to work and come on through on this channel. That's better. Yeah, so I'm going to sing along to this one with just the piano sound. Jay did a really good full arrangement, but the big question I have with this song at the moment is, do I leave it, because I originally wrote it as just piano and vocal, and I almost want to just record piano using the Ravenscroft and maybe a little strings using iSymphonic, and I kind of like the original version because I played it and sang at the same time, and I used a little bit of variation. So I didn't play it on the grid, and I'm considering doing that. So I like the version that Jay did here, and I may just go with it because it's so good. But I'm considering this. So what I'll do is I'll sing along with this. I won't display my screen because I'm having issues here with the setup, but I'll bring up the track here so that you and I can see the words as I go along. Things have changed. Oh, I don't have the lyrics there. Okay, that's fine. This is a good opportunity. Is it this one? Things will change. No, that's a different one. That's a different song entirely. Oh, here's another one. I must have put it over here. There it is. So there's the words. So let's bring these over and put them back in the proper spot, which is over here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, that's good. So it's very short, very simple song. And yes, it is my lockdown song. I know everyone's got a lockdown song, and originally I was like, I'm not going to put this on the album on the EP because it's a little bit too cliched, and I'm not actually like, oh, this is how I was feeling at the time. And if it wasn't for the fact that so many people have said to me, I liked that song, it really meant a lot to me, and I think it's a good song, and you need to put it on there, I probably would leave it off, but it does mean a lot to me. It does sort of suit the feel of the song, because it will. This song, whether I like it or not, because it's being made in May 2020, it will have a flavour of what we're going through at the moment. So I think this just is a little nod to that, and it's only going to be about a 1.5 to 2 minute song. So I think it's all good. Anyway, let's stop talking about it, Pete, and let's just let's play this. I'll play. This is Jade Starr's arrangement on piano, and I've just put the piano here, Jade, and then I will be singing along to it. So this is my song, Things Have Changed. Things are the same, everything's changed. Even the sun doesn't seem as bright today. When will it end? When can we leave? Right now I'd settle for a small reprieve. It's been a week, feels like a year, doing okay, but you're not near. Are you okay? Do you feel fine? How are you finding things in this new design? Don't know how long it's gonna last, but like everything, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. I just added in at the end there the strings, so maybe I just do that. Maybe it's just the strings come in for that last section, just to sort of bring it out with the outro. Not 100%, but that's the beauty part of just trying to do this. Starting again. Alrighty. Yeah. So I think it just has to go on the EP. Plus, if I don't put that on there, it's either only going to be 4 tracks, or I'll have to write a brand new song. And as you saw, if you watch from the start, as you saw from my schedule, I don't have time to write a whole brand new song. I don't think so anyway. So yeah, it's going to go on there, I think. Yes, and how many songs? Yes, it is. It is indeed 5. Yes, so we're all good. Thank you, Metallian. Appreciate it. And yeah, try to make it different for a little fun. Yeah, and here's the thing, Jade. And I don't see the thing. I don't think the original version is better. I think better is another word. Better is another word I want to get out of vocabulary, like you must, you should, you do, like anything definitive. I don't know. I'm in this mood at the moment where I'm like, I don't want anything to be yes, no, black, white, up, down. I think everything can be everything. Anyway. Rage said, I ain't gonna lie, I did not expect to like this song, but you got me, Pete. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I've got that reaction from a lot of folks. Again, I didn't expect to like that song. It was basically one of those songs where I just sat down on the piano, I played some chords, I kind of poured out what was in my head, and then I'm like, oh, that'll work. And then just went on with things. And like I say, who am I to say who should and shouldn't like and like things and what should and shouldn't work? So I was hesitant, but I've made a call now. And you know what? I'll sort of finish shortly because we're going to play No Apologies, and then we're going to finish up. But yeah, I'll finish with a similar statement to what I started with, which is that regardless of what decision you choose, here's the thing. You don't know what the other decision would have done. If I did create a new song, or I did go with a 4-track EP and didn't include it, I'm not going to know the outcome. It's not choose your own adventure. There's no time machine that's going to let me go back and find out what would have happened if I had done it this way or that way. So that's kind of my bag on this, is that Yeah, don't worry about it. And I did steal that from Gary Vaynerchuk. I watch a lot of Gary V stuff, and he says the same thing, and I just embrace that because I'm like, what does it matter? Like, make a decision, go with it. And it is 100% true that you regret more of the things you don't do than the things you do do. do. I try to be sensible and serious, and then I say do and laugh. So I do have young children. I blame them for that. All right, let's turn our guitar back up. Let's finish out here. So just to summarize, what did we go through? What did we do today? Well, if you missed the start here, what I took you through was my plan. So let's summarize. Here is the track order. This is where it's at the moment. So we've played these perfect. Hold on, fence sitter. Things have changed. No apologies is what we're finishing up with. I've got here my notes of what I need to do with each of these. I need to record some acoustic guitars and vocals and drums and bass for my song Perfect. That'll all be happening today. I'm then going to record my song Hold On. I've got fence sitter there with all the things that I need to do. Things have changed, what I need to do with that, and then no apologies, the things I need to do with that. We then need to master and release and share with the world. If we go up to the top here, all the things I need to do here, we worked backwards. So we knew that I needed to get everything done by the 1st of the 6th, confusing myself now, because it's in backwards date format. But the 1st of June is when we want all the final masters done. So I then worked backwards and we worked out when we need all these checkpoints of the different mixes ready to go. So there'll be videos coming with all of those things happening over the next 2 weeks here on the channel, and they won't all be live because I understand that you don't want to have to see me sort of recording for 4 hours straight. Well, not everyone would want to see that anyway. But what I would be doing is doing some sort of highlight package videos as well, and focusing in on specific topics. So as I'm recording and mixing, if there's something I'm like, I should share that with folks, then I'll do that. As we go. And where we're at now is that we've been playing these to practice, and we're nearly at the end. We are now going to play this tune here called No Apologies. So if we zoom in on this one and go across, there we go. There's our lyrics. And as you've heard from a couple of the other songs, I still manage, my wife laughs at me. I'm terrible at remembering lyrics, and even when I've got lyrics written on a page, I can't get that zoom level right. Even when I've got lyrics written on a page, I can't seem to sing them right. So we'll see. You can laugh at me and laugh along at home if I don't get this one right. I'll turn my vocal down a little bit on the gain there, so it's not going to blow our heads off. I'm going to take a headphone. In fact, I'll put the headphones down completely so that I can actually hear myself play on this one. This is my tune called No Apologies. Goes like this. We'll start that again, shall we? 2, 3, 4. Maybe I spread things a little too thin. Maybe I'm trying too hard just to win. But my intentions are always the best. Maybe I don't always do what I say. Maybe the deadlines are missed by a day. But I'm here to tell you I'm trying to learn, and I'm running as fast as I can. The work can never end, and I try to make amends, but it's not always easy. Maybe I bite enough more than I chew. Maybe I need to be honest with you, but I just don't want to show any weakness. Maybe I need to step back for a while. Maybe I don't need to go 1 more mile, so I can keep my promise to you. And I'm running as fast as I can. The work can never end, and I try to make amends, but it's not always easy. And I try to do everything I say, but I've only got one day. good to be this way. Look at what the people say. But the roses have their thorns. The biggest critic wears the horns. I think it's time to slow it down. Now I can see the light, and now it's time to make things right for me and you. It's all that I can do. There you go. That is No Apologies. That will be the final track on my new EP, which, let's finish off with this. It needs a name, and originally, I'll just turn myself back up. Originally, Mayhem was what I went with, and I kind of still like Mayhem, but someone, my buddy Case, up in the Netherlands, said maybe the actual album should be Maybe. And I kind of like that because, I mean, when you think about it, look at the titles of the songs. We've got Perfect, Hold On, Fence Sitter, Things Have Changed, No Apologies, and Maybe. Like, how beautiful does that time with the whole fence sitter thing? That sometimes maybe is okay. Like, there doesn't, again, I've been ranting about this whole definitive statement thing, and maybe Pete Johns, maybe, would actually be the perfect album for me right now. It kind of just, it tells that tale of things, you know, not being quite there, but it's not that, yeah, it's not that everything's bad. It's just that everything's like, yeah, maybe it's good. Maybe it needs work. I don't know. So yeah, Mayhem or Maybe. Let me know. Drop it in the comments or the chat. Did you get some value out of this? Let me know. Give me a comment if you're watching on the replay. Let me know what was valuable and what wasn't. Did you like the scheduling stuff? I know for some of you would have been like, oh, eyes glazing over, but others might get some value because, yeah, if you're like me and you struggle with the whole structure of things, and sometimes you just I could have spent the next 3 weeks just sitting and noodling on guitar and probably had fun, and then got to the end of it and went, yeah, I don't really know about that. Let me know anyway. I'll say goodbye and farewell to those folks. Now, so I'll go right back here, Rage. We need to expand on this song, Pete, and some more verses if you can. Yeah, so if that's the one, the things have changed. Yeah, I know. I'm on the fence about that. Yeah, I don't know. Because I like the fact that it's short and sweet. It just says what it needs to say and then it gets out of the way. But I don't know. But we'll find out. Johnny Van says, that's my motto on my channel. It ain't what you do, it's what you do. Love it. Yep, go the doo-doo. I did wonder why Desolate Morning had a poop emoji there, but it's around the doo-doo stuff. I still like Mayhem. Yeah, I still like Mayhem too, so I haven't quite decided yet. Hello to you, Cube Flavored Pie. I don't usually listen to this kind of music, but this is great. Well, thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Has a gin blossom sound? Yeah. Should be the first track. Maybe now we got controversy. Beautiful part is that we'll have a couple of weeks to actually go through and decide on this stuff. So we'll see how we go. Maybe Mayhem. Maybe Mayhem. Do both. Yeah. Maybe Mayhem. I like it. Anyway. Let's continue on here. In fact, let's continue on by finishing. So thank you for being here. If you got some value out of this one and you like this series, continue watching it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more of these or see more of these videos, and hit the like button if you did like this one. Head over to studiolivetoday.com to keep up with everything I'm doing. There you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. No, I'm not on Snapchat, but other places as well. And all of my gear guide and everything else you can check out is over there as well. Wish me luck. This is a big job for the next 2 weeks, but yes, I will be checking in every day with something new to keep you up to date with how things are tracking along. Thanks for being here today. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Cheers.